These are very uncertain and very difficult times. And so central banks and policymakers are faced with very clear challenges. So what has been happening is that firms have been building up debt for years in a state of low interest rates. So debt's already very high. The pandemic hits, revenues fall, governments step in to help,
Yeah.
interest rates fall, still more debt piles up. So you have a situation where perhaps as many as 15% of companies listed on major market stock exchanges could fall into the category of sort of zombie companies that couldn't survive without exceptional government assistance.
Wow.
So it's a very challenging position.
That does seem pretty high to me, considering, I mean, I know we're in unusual times, but you also are looking at the different breakdown between large corporations and the SMEs. And this is very relevant because you point out that SMEs have seen a jump in bank loans. And as we get ready for bank earnings this week, we will be getting a better gauge of what they see in terms of their loan portfolio. And I'm just curious about this trend. I mean, do you think we are seeing more SMEs get into riskier territory because of this?
Well, I think SMEs have a particularly challenging position. When you think of the types of firms that SMEs tend to be, many are in the service sector, where, for example, restaurants, small companies, small retail firms that have been particularly hard hit by the pandemic. So their position is more challenging. It's not easy to tap, for example, bond markets if you're a small firm. So you're reliant mainly on your long-standing relationships with banks. So there's a certain sense of a kind of a period of limbo or grace in which we kind of try to ride this out, continuing to sort of extend credit as needed. But it's difficult to see how this can persist indefinitely.
Exactly. Timing is a big issue there, Sonia. Good morning. Thank you for joining in this conversation. And so when do you see in this cycle, in this credit cycle, the zombie companies tumbling out of the closet? Because it seems like they are given an extended lifeline because of the kind of debt issuance that's being extended out to them.
I think it's very tied to the cyclical recovery, right? To the extent that you get revenues normalizing going into 2021, you will have a much better position for companies large and small. If that doesn't materialize, if you don't get, a fairly solid upturn in growth, then you're going to see a rise in delinquencies and a rise in corporate defaults.